Today we're going to be looking at following rules for two different lines. Both of these lines are going to have different rules, and for this problem, they're already giving us those rules. Let's go ahead and look at line A. Remember that each line has a name, and for this one, it's line A. When I look at line A, it's telling me that the rule is y is 1 more than x. So whatever x is, y is going to be 1 more. Let's go ahead and rewrite that though using a numerical sentence. Y equals x plus 1. When you're writing your answers, you can either write it as a complete sentence over here or as a numerical expression. Let's look at the first example. If x is 1 and I'm adding 1 more, then y would equal 2. My coordinate pair would be 1, 2. When x is 5 and I add 1 more, y would be 6. That means my coordinate pair would be 5, 6. Same thing with 9. If I'm adding 1 more, I would get 10. And I would get a coordinate pair of 9, 10. And last one, if x is 13 and I add 1 more, I would get 14. My coordinate pair would be 13, 14. You can also check your work by substituting your variables of y and x. For example, if I wanted to check my work for 13, 14, I would simply rewrite this expression. If y equals x plus 1, I know that x is 13. I now know that y would be 13 plus 1, and I would get 14. So if you need to show your work this way, just so that it looks a little more appealing or makes more sense to you, that's totally fine. This is also how you're going to be showing your work in 7th grade. So you should be excited that you're learning this now in 5th grade. Okay, so we just figured out everything we need to know for line A. Let's go ahead and take a look at line B. The rule is y is 4 more than x. So I'm adding 4 to whatever x is. Let's go ahead and write the numerical expression. Y equals x plus 4. So whatever x is, you're going to add 4 to it. When x is 1 and you're adding 4, you get 5. And so your ordered pair is 1, 5. When x is 5 and you add 4, you get 9. When x is 9 and you add 4, you get 13. And last one, when x is 13 and you add 4, you get 17. Again, you can check your work by substituting the variables. So if you wanted to check your coordinate pair of 13, 17, y equals 13 plus 4, y would equal 17, and we know that's correct. All right, let's go ahead and look at question A. Construct each line on the coordinate plane above. Let's start with line A. When I first look at this coordinate plane, however, I'm noticing I'm counting up by 5s and that it's missing some numbers in between. When I look at this, I notice that I'm going to be counting by 1s. Take a moment on your coordinate planes to fill in those missing numbers. Once that's done, you can begin plotting. All right, let's get started with line A. I'm plotting 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 13, 14. To complete this line, I'll actually have to draw the line connecting all of my points. For this part, you might want to use a ruler. As you saw yesterday during our video, that I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a ruler. If you don't have a ruler in your house, you can use the edge of a notebook or even your cell phone. And they don't give us like an exact endpoint, so I'm going to go ahead and draw arrows. I'm also going to make sure I label this as line A. Okay, let's get started with line B. I'm plotting 1, 5, 5, 9, 9, 13, and 13, 17. Go ahead and draw your line. And label it as line B. Question B, compare the lines. What can you say about the corresponding y values for any value of x? So right now, we're going to take a moment to just look at the y values. I'm noticing that in line A, when y was 2, in line B, y was 5. I'm noticing that 2 is less than 5. Let's see if that pattern continues. In line A, when y was 6, in line B, it was 9. That's 3 again. 10 compared to 13. They're always 3 apart. I'm also noticing that when I'm looking at the line B is always 3 spots higher than line A, which makes sense because in our table, y was always 3 more. Right? It doesn't matter. Wherever I look, line B is always going to be 3 more. Even if it's a line I didn't plot, that's why it's super important that you have nice straight lines, because you can pick any point and know that it's 3 more. I'm going to put this into a complete sentence. I notice that the y values for line B are always 3 more than the y values of line A. I also notice that when we're looking at the lines, line B is always 3 spaces above line A. So we see that line B has greater values in 2 ways. One way that we see it is clearly by looking at the y values, because the y values of line B are always 3 more than in line A. We also see it with the actual lines on the coordinate plane. We always see that line B, no matter what, is 3 spaces above line A.